Good morning and welcome to my channel. I'm Dania and today's topic focuses on the weather. So, we will be speaking about different types of weather from sunny skies to stormy days. So, in this video, I will show you how to talk about the weather in English. Ready? Let's start. The first one is sunny. Sunny. What does that mean? Sunny weather is when the sun is shining brightly in the sky. As you can see on the picture, the sun is shining brightly in the sky. And so in this case, we call it sunny weather. So if someone asks you about the weather, like if they say, what is the weather like in your area? You can say it is sunny. So if the sun is shining brightly, you can say it is sunny weather. So in this case, you can say the sun is shining brightly in the sky. The sun is shining brightly in the sky. We are using is shining with ing because we are speaking about the weather at the moment, like what is happening right now. It is shining. The sun is shining with ing, and so that is related to the present continuous tense. We need to use is because of the sun. Okay, it's a singular subject. So let's look at the second type, which is cloudy. Cloudy. The word cloudy comes from cloud, when there are a lot of clouds on the sky, and so in this case we call it cloudy. So what does that mean? It means that the sky is covered with clouds, and so it is not very sunny. Why? Because of the clouds. When we have a lot of clouds, we don't have sun. Alright? So this is the meaning of cloudy weather. The other type, rainy. Rainy. Rainy weather, it is when water falls from the sky, obviously. So in this case, we call it rainy weather, as you can see on the picture where it is raining a lot. And also, when you experience a type of weather where it rains a lot with thunders and lightning, we call it is raining cats and dogs. So this is basically an expression to describe the heavy rain. So when it rains heavily in your area, we call it raining cats and dogs. All right. So as I said, this is just an expression. So in this case, when it rains, obviously we need to have an umbrella or a raincoat to stay dry. Why? Because everything gets wet. So let's move into the other one, which is windy. What does that mean? It's connected with the movement of air. So it says here when the air is moving a lot, as you can see on the picture. So if you want to use windy in an example, we can say the wind is blowing hard and I can see the trees swaying. So when the trees are swaying, that means the wind is blowing hard. Now let's move into the other one, which is snowy. Snowy. What does that mean? When it is snowing, that means we experience white flakes from the sky instead of the rain. Because when it is raining, we experience like rains, right? But when it is snowing, then white flakes, as you can see on the picture where they are having white flakes falling from the sky. So we can say it covers the ground with a soft white layer called snow. Alright, so this is how we can use snowy. So if you are experiencing some snow in your area, that means you are having snowflakes. Snowflakes are the white circles that fall from the sky. So let's move into another one, which is foggy. Foggy. What is the meaning of foggy? When we have a foggy weather, that means it is usually hard to see far ahead. Far ahead, that means it is not possible to see what is in front of us. Why? Because of the fog. Alright, so when we have a foggy weather, or when we experience some fogs, that means everything looks blurry. Blurry means not easy to see. All right, so as you can see on the picture, this person is walking on a foggy weather. That means he or she is not actually able to see what is ahead of him or her, and so we call it foggy. Example, I can't see very far. Why? Because of the fog in the air. So this is how we can use fog in a sentence. Fog here is the noun, but foggy is the adjective. So we can say it's a foggy weather, or we can say I can't see because of the fog. Alright, so this is how we can use fog and foggy in sentences. Now let's move into another one, which is stormy. Stormy. Stormy here when there is thunder and lightning in the sky, as you can see on the picture. Stormy. So when we have or when we experience thunder and lightning, that means we are having or expecting stormy weather. It can be loud and little scary, and sometimes it brings heavy rain or strong winds. And in this case, we can even use the expression that I shared with you, which is called raining cats and dogs. Now let's move into another type of weather, which is hot. Alright, so when it is hot, you would definitely feel sweaty and want to wear light clothes to stay cool. Example, it is very warm today and I'm sweating. Or we can even say it is very hot today and I'm sweating. The other type is cold. Cold. When it is cold, you will want to wear warm clothes like jackets and scarves to stay warm. So this is called cold weather. And by the way, what weather are you experiencing right now? Are you having cold? Are you experiencing cold weather, hot weather, stormy? What kind of weather are you experiencing right now? Let me know in the comments. As for me, because I live in Malaysia, so we are having humidity. The humidity level is so high, like it's extremely high, and I will tell you in a few minutes from now about the meaning of humidity. Alright. So as I mentioned a few seconds ago about the meaning of cold, and so if you want to use cold in an example, we can say it is freezing outside and so I need to wear a thick jacket. Okay, now let's move into another type, which is misty. Misty. What does that mean? Misty here is when we experience a thin layer of fog. So there is basically a difference between misty weather and foggy weather. Foggy weather where we can't see anything like ahead of us, or we can't see what is in front of us. But misty, it's like still possible to see what is actually in front of us. So this is the difference between the two. It is not basically as thick as fog, alright, but everything might look a bit blurry, just a bit. Okay, now let's look at the next one, which is hailstorm. Hailstorm. What does that mean? When we experience small or large balls of ice, then they are called hailstone. And it can be really dangerous. It can cause damage to buildings and plants. If any of you is experiencing this particular weather, you just need to be careful, alright? So yeah, this is the meaning of hailstorm. And now let's move into freezing rain. Freezing rain usually happens when temperature is below 0. Then we call it freezing rain. So this is only connected to temperatures that are below 0 or below freezing. Alright, so when it rains, the rain is freezing rain. And so it can actually make roads and sidewalks very slippery and dangerous. Let's move into the next one, which is humid. Humid. What does that mean? Like when there is a lot of moisture in the air, making you feel sticky and muggy. The feeling can be extremely uncomfortable, and this is what I am experiencing at the moment. Weather here is so humid, like the humidity level is really high. The other type of weather, which is breezy, and when it is breezy, that means the wind is blowing gently. Like the feeling can be so comfortable that you can even feel it on your skin, making you feel cool and so refreshing. So this is related to the breezy weather. Here we have muggy, connected to hot and humidity. So in this case, when it is hot and humid at the same time, then we experience muggy weather. And obviously we are having muggy weather because extremely hot and humid in here, and so yes, we are having a muggy weather. So that's why it says the air feels heavy and it can be uncomfortable. Why? Because you might sweat a lot. Then we move to the next one, which is frosty. When the temperature is below freezing, we call it frosty. So when it is frosty, everything looks white and icy and it is very cold outside, so we call it frosty. The next one is drought. This is basically connected to dryness, when there hasn't been any rain for a long time, and so the ground is totally dry, very dry, and so in this case we call it drought. Partially cloudy. That means it is about a mix of sun and clouds. So basically, like, some parts of the sky have clouds, but there are also clear areas where you can see the sun or the blue sky, and so we call it partially cloudy, partially sunny. So partially sunny is the opposite of partially cloudy. But there are basically some clouds in the sky, but the sun is still shining through. Alright, so this is the meaning of partially sunny. There is a mix of clouds and sun. Alright, so this is basically everything, I guess, about the types of weather. I'm sure there are other types of weather that can be learned, but what I shared with you are the most commonly used ones. And so in this case, I really hope you found today's video useful, and let me know if you have any questions, thoughts, ideas, suggestions for other topics and things like that. So in this case, I wish you then a happy day and happy weekend, and I will be looking forward to having you in the next video. So have a great day and take care. Bye bye.